Carl's Jr. and Hardee's CEO Andy Puzder says that he wants to invest in automated restaurant solutions because he can't afford to pay workers at increasing minimum wages. Now you're seeing here a picture of Mr. Puzder, and he says with government driving up the cost of labor, it's driving down the number of jobs. You're going to see automation not just in airports and grocery stores, but in restaurants. This is the problem, he says, with Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton and progressives who push very hard to raise the minimum wage. Does it really help if Sally makes $3 more an hour if Susie has no job? And he talks about the benefits of robot fast food workers. He said, they're always polite, they always upsell, they never take a vacation, they never show up late. There's never a slip and fall or an age, sex, or race discrimination case. This guy sounds like a great guy. Moving on, he says younger customers may already have a handle on technology, so it'll be easy for them to make the adjustment. But many older customers could find themselves confused in a tech-heavy location. But he says that 100% automated restaurants would be a huge plus for millennials because there is no social interaction.
Everything this guy says is obnoxious.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
He's like, millennials don't like to talk to people anyway. This will be good for them.
Yeah.
Like, how many times has he told people to get off his lawn, right? Like, you young kids, get off my lawn.
Such a good point.
Right, and the whole thing about raising the minimum wage and, I'm going to threaten all of your jobs if you vote for Sanders or Clinton. We've seen CEOs do this time and time again, and why is he so bothered by sex and race discrimination lawsuits?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's like, finally, these robots won't mind when I do slurs against them.
Yeah.
You fucking robot.
It's great.
Right?
I'm not held accountable by robots.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. We're humans. So sometimes humans slip, right? And they hurt themselves. That cost my bottom line a little bit. Yeah, the dude also hurt his back. You might want to... Yeah, I know. Sometimes people fake it, right? And I know that's a pain in the ass. But sometimes it's real, and they're human beings, and we're supposed to care for each other. But that's not how it works, unfortunately, in a lot of the corporate world. But the main point here is, are they going to robots? Are they going to automation? And the answer is yes, but it isn't because of the minimum wage. Now, it is conceivable that robots or machines could cost X and the minimum wage is below X, and then if you move the minimum wage above X, well, then they'll switch over to robots. But we have no evidence of that whatsoever. What we do have great evidence of is people going towards automation anyway, irrespective of what the minimum wage is, because once you make that initial investment into the machines, they cost a lot less going forward. So you're going to go to them even if the minimum wage is $7. So, for example, I know that Foxconn, which employs 1 million people in China, is right now looking to buy 1 million robots, okay, to do a lot of the manufacturing that gets done. Because honestly, the robots are a little bit better at it. Not because they don't sue me for being sexist, right? But because it is literally a mechanical action that people are taking in an assembly line, right? And the robot does it better, and it doesn't get tired, and it doesn't take breaks. That part is true. So this guy is taking a phenomenon that he already knows exists and that he was going to take advantage of anyway, and makes it political and spits in our eye while he's doing it.
Right. No, I think you make a really great point. So we are moving towards robots, especially for jobs that don't require a lot of emotional intelligence. So, like, obviously, we're not going to replace, like, therapists with robots, but jobs where you can kind of replicate the movements of a human or something like that will slowly be replaced by robots. But I don't necessarily think that is a bad thing. I think that will only result in the increased, skill set of the worker, like we saw with the Industrial Revolution and things like that. But I want to kind of get on this point where he talked about, raising the minimum wage and how that's going to cause other people to lose jobs, as we've seen in some of the examples of cities that have raised the minimum wage. It actually doesn't force people to lose jobs. It actually gives the workers who are getting the minimum wage salary more money to then spend, and actually stimulates the economy. So there actually is a positive. And one other thing that I wanted to point out here is that the average fast food CEO makes 721 to 1 of the minimum wage worker. So he's saying all this when he's making 721 times what the average minimum wage worker works for him, which just gives me such a sick feeling on top of all the other shit that he said in these quotes.
Yeah, it's incredibly disrespectful and really short-sighted as a CEO of a major fast food chain to just honestly just to speak so ill of your workers. You're complaining about the fact that they're humans and that they might fall, like you were saying, that they might, have certain requirements of a positive workplace. And he's like, oh, it's such a hindrance on me and my money. And I think that really, really sucks. And he should have thought before he really should have thought before he opened his mouth, because the whole thing is incredibly disrespectful. I'm glad I do not work at Carl's Jr.
He's written multiple articles about, complaining about the rise of the minimum wage and how it's going to affect him and how he's going to put that burden on the worker. And so even if he, didn't wanted to would raise the minimum wage and didn't want to fire people, you could just raise your prices a little bit. Right? So Carl's Jr. is a really popular chain. You could just raise your prices slightly to compensate for that if you didn't want to, oh my God, suffer the burden. Plus, raising the minimum wage has a better, worker retention. So he wouldn't have to spend money on training and dealing with that. So
there's one other thing he could do. He could cut his own salary. He makes 721 times what the minimum
Don't
wage
be
worker
silly.
does.
Couldn't
so he's
possibly.
like, we're running out of money. Dude, you make more than anyone else at the company. Not me. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the guy making the least amount of money, right? I'm going to cut his salary. And by the way, you're also spitting in the eye of your customers, a lot of whom are not enormously wealthy, right? A lot of them who also happen to be human beings, who from time to time fall and probably have minimum wage jobs, etc. But I kind of want to end it on a fun note, because I love this line in the story. Puzder doesn't think that it's likely that any machine could take over the more nuanced kitchen work of Carl's Jr.'s and Hardee's. Really? There's nuanced kitchen work going on at Carl's Jr.? Okay, that's news to me. Although they do have good ads, but I'm a bad man for saying that.